your furry four-legged friends too. Right here we have Louie and we have Zena, and we are here with Hemp Vet, which is a Vermont-based company that focuses on health and therapy products.
Health therapy for pets.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right. These aren't
and this
treats.
is Bill Riley.
Yeah, Bill Riley. I'm one of the co-founders. We are a family-based business. All the products are made here, and as a matter of fact, they're made in South Burlington. And our formulations are developed by a board-certified animal nutritionist. I want to talk a little bit about the importance of hemp. It's why hemp. Everybody's saying, why hemp? What are the features and benefits of hemp and CBD? Hemp contains a component called phytocannabinoids. There are over 100 phytocannabinoids in hemp. Hemp is the plant with the largest concentration of phytocannabinoids. Chocolate, echinacea, hops, carrots, all have phytocannabinoids. The benefit of hemp is it has the most per volume. Okay. So that's number one. Why are phytocannabinoids important? Phytocannabinoids are important because they potentiate the endocannabinoid system. We all, humans and animals, have an endocannabinoid system. General health and wellness. So what the benefits are, general health and wellness. And that goes for brain health, digestion, pain relief. Right. Pain, inflammation control.
So the same reasons that us humans
would use it is why your animals use it. Same features and benefits. As a matter of fact, for instance, our oil, this is human grade oil. I mean, we members of my team use it.
Right.
So there's no like specific animal components in this. These are all human grade.
And we're actually going to be talking about more of these products coming up in our next hit. So you guys stay with us. We're going to be talking about more of these CBD products for your pets at home. So for now, we're live here in Williston, and we are going back to break.
You're watching Local 44 Morning Brew, local news that matters. You're watching Local 44 Morning Brew, local news that matters to Northern New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire.
Good morning, and Community Matters. Honor a fallen hero's wishes and get a great sweat going. We're joined by Andrea Gagne from 14th Star Brewing. You know this beautiful face. We're talking about their upcoming Sweat and Sip Boot Camp to honor General Mike Heston.
Hi.
We're very excited to talk about this. Tell us all the details.
So we've done this occasionally where we call it a sweat and sip. So what it is, it's an hour-long boot camp, calisthenics, body weight exercises, core exercises. And those that register come in, they get a great sweat on, and then afterward we have some healthy snacks in the tap room, but they're treated to a beer. So
gotta have beer.
Yeah, it's, you know, wheat's great for recovery, muscle recovery. So,
Yes.
so they get the, you know, the best of both worlds. They know that they're getting a great workout, they're helping out a great cause, and then they get some great beer after.
Yeah, and talk about that great cause as well. This is benefiting the wishes of General Mike Heston.
Yes, so he was very passionate about the Fallen Heroes Memorial at Camp Johnson, and it was one of his efforts to get a gazebo built at this memorial. So his family has asked that anybody that wants to make donations on his behalf for that gazebo, and so when I was thinking about what I wanted to do for the January Sweat and Sip, you know, everybody has their New Year's resolutions.
Totally.
And with Mike's passing recently, I wanted to make sure that his wishes, you know, I could do what I could to see his wishes carried out. So we want to help get that gazebo built.
It's really perfect. Tell us the date and time for this.
So it is this coming Sunday. It is at 11 a.m.
Okay.
We'll open the tap room a little bit early, 15, 20 minutes for those that don't register ahead of time, but I would encourage people to register ahead of time. They can do that on our website. It's 14thstarbrewing.com/events. Just because we have a cap of 40 people.
Okay.
This space is only so big, so we can only allow 40 people in. It's $20 to register. All of that money will go to the charity. I don't keep anything, the brewery doesn't keep anything. And so it should be a ton of fun.
I have liked all of these events on Facebook in the past, and I've never gone to one. Guilty.
I will
I
get
feel
you to
so
do
bad about
burpees
it.
and bear crawls before my time is ended.
I love burpees and bear crawls, and you're teaching.
Perfect. I'm teaching. I'm teaching. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that in my spare time, I'm a fitness instructor as well. So.
She's really tough. It'll be fun though. You should definitely go.
And it is for all levels, all physical levels.
Right.
So if there's something that needs to be modified, we can absolutely do that. Everything that I do, I structure it around people working at their own pace. So.
I know, I didn't mean to scare anybody.
No.
All right, there it is. On Sunday, 11 to 12, 14th Star Brewing. Benefit a great cause. General Mike Heston's wishes. Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you.
You're watching Local 44 Morning Brew, local news that matters.
$7:23, good morning. I'm Megan Carpenter.
And I'm Polixeni Manjari. New information from Vermont State Police about the man accused of kidnapping and sexual assault. They now say Everett Simpson was reported missing the night before he allegedly committed both of those crimes against a New Hampshire woman. Troopers say they didn't know about that report until last night.
Police say while he was jailed following a September arrest, Simpson was allowed to go to the Valley Vista Rehab Facility in Bradford, Vermont for substance abuse treatment. He escaped from there last week. Earlier Tuesday, state police told us they received no notification from Valley Vista that Simpson had escaped. We've now been told the facility reported that late Friday night.
Firefighters in Shelburne got quite the surprise at a scene of a fire Tuesday when all of a sudden it started going off louder than fireworks. The town's deputy fire chief told us there were thousands of rounds of ammunition inside. And this was the scene around 2:30 yesterday afternoon on Harbor Road. Smoke could be seen for miles. Firefighters say the barn that had an attached studio apartment is destroyed. That apartment, though, was empty. No word yet on what caused this fire, but state police are now involved. No one was hurt. About 35 firefighters were on scene, and the Red Cross was there too. We are told that a crew is still there just for safety reasons.
A man injured in a shooting with Vermont State Troopers has a warrant out for his arrest. This as he recovers at Albany Med from that situation in Arlington Monday. 40-year-old Matthew Novick faces charges of attempted first-degree murder and aggravated assault with a weapon. Police say he was having a mental health crisis when they were called to the home. Police allege Novick fired on two troopers who took cover and fired back. Novick got hit multiple times. He is in critical but stable condition.
An update this morning: if you hear fighter jets in the next few days, that's because the Vermont Air National Guard is training at night. It's the last of the season and the final exercise before the F-35s arrive. Night training will last 2 weeks, beginning at 4 p.m. and ending at 8. These exercises are normally scheduled for the winter since it gets darker earlier. The flights can end early enough each night so that way your sleeping schedule is not disturbed.
So nighttime, we do have basically different capabilities that we practice at night, whether that's through our night vision goggles or some of our systems on the aircraft. Again, you just can't really emulate that during the day. So it's a skill you just have to practice as any other skill you'd have out there, whether it's an athletic sport or if it's just some sort of work-based skill.
Again, this is the final nighttime session for the F-16s as the F-35s make their way in. And as you know, there has been a lot of controversy about this regarding their noise level too.
Drive carefully out there as you head into work and maybe take the kids to school if they even have school today. Amanda's standing by with a check of that messy forecast. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, thanks, Megan. Good morning, everybody. Cancellations have been piling in, pouring in throughout the morning. Those are, of course, at the bottom of your screen. I know it can be kind of hard to listen and try and catch your school name, so you can also find an alphabetical list on our website, mychamplainvalley.com. Why? Well, one peek out the window will tell you why. We're waking up to widespread snow. We find ourselves under winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings, but it hasn't always been snow. Last night into early this morning, we had rain, freezing rain, and sleet too. So underneath that snow, which could be deceiving, you want to drive carefully and walk carefully because there's either a sheet of ice or possibly a little bit of grit, some crunch to it from the sleet. Speaking of which, in West Plattsburgh, just had this photo sent in from Brenda. She said it's only a couple of inches in West Plattsburgh, but it feels like maybe there should be a little bit more. It's just been compacted down by some of that overnight mix.
From WFFF, this is Local 44 Morning Brew.
Good morning. It is 7:28 on your Wednesday, January 9th. And welcome to Local 44 Morning Brew. I'm, of course, Paul Manjari with Megan and news analyst Amanda.
Good morning. Of course.
Of course.
Of course she is.
Right?
Of course you are.
All right, we are talking about health and wellness today and how CBD oil can actually benefit your pets too.
So Spencer Thomas is live on Williston Road in South Burlington as we speak. Telling us more. Hi, Spencer.
Hey, you guys, that's right. We are live here in South Burlington, and we are talking all about health and wellness for your furry, four-legged friends like this little girl right here. So, to get more tips on that, stay with us. I'll have more coming up.
Thanks, Spencer. His first televised speech addressing the American people from the Oval Office.
Who President Trump blames for the government shutdown, and it's not himself.
And a few legislative sessions begins in New York's capital, and some say it's under a blanket of corruption.
What changes several lawmakers want to see made to the state's constitution?
We would like Mother Nature to also make changes to our morning commute.
How about that?
But that's not going to happen.
Absolutely. We want the snow. There are a lot of snow lovers cheering it on, excited to get out there and playing it this weekend,
Sure.
but that means we have to deal with Wednesday morning first.
Yeah.
And Wednesday morning brings you those white knuckle moments. Let's take you outside where we have snow coming down at a pretty decent clip, even moderate to heavy going into mid-morning. There will be some bursts of maybe 1+ inch per hour snowfall rates, but it's not just the snow that's the culprit. No, underneath the snow, we have this. Check out where we were at 3:20 this morning. Sleet, rain, possibly some freezing rain came before the snow. And so underneath that blanket of white, you're either going to find out with your own 2 feet or possibly your car tires that there's a little grit from the sleet, maybe a little ice from some of the freezing rain, or slush from the plain rain. And that snow, I'm hearing from folks, is kind of compacting down as a result of some of that too. So it is not straightforward snow this morning. Not that any snow event is super straightforward to us. And it is definitely slow going. We made some calls earlier, our producer did, to find out some of the problem spots. And it looked like through ways that in and around White River Junction and Point South, maybe the biggest headaches for folks. And we had a notice from Vermont State Police asking you to slow down. Remember, it's winter, it's January, we know how to drive in these conditions. We just need that little reminder. Sometimes there have been numerous slide-offs. So there's sort of your morning drive all bulleted out for you. Crunchy, slick, or wet roads, and by crunchy I mean the sleet, the crust that maybe is underneath some of the snow, and areas of fog too. That's one more piece to this. Visibility has been a struggle. It's patchy fog, so it's not necessarily widespread, but as the fog situation alleviates itself with a few more hours, the visibility problem will come from the snow instead. So we're stacking up a not so pretty forecast for now, but we do end up with lots of great mountain snow by the end of the day tomorrow. Lots coming your direction in a few moments. Guys?
The federal government remains shut down for one reason, and one reason only, because Democrats will not fund border security.
President Trump addressed the nation on Tuesday night on day 18 of the government shutdown.
Many of you caught the 10-minute long speech on really any major network, focusing mostly on border security. President Trump spoke from his desk in the Oval Office about what he calls a crisis of heart and soul at the border. He called the southern border a pipeline for drugs and detailed the need for a border wall. Following his speech, a rebuttal from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
The president is rejecting these bipartisan bills which would reopen government over his obsession with forcing American taxpayers to waste billions of dollars on an expensive and ineffective wall.
Schumer also calling the president's remarks a tantrum and said a wall negotiation should be separate from a government shutdown. Vermont's junior senator Bernie Sanders also with a lot to say. He live streamed a response on Facebook calling for better treatment of those affected by this shutdown.
Our federal employees deserve to be treated with respect, not held hostage as political pawns. Millions of Americans, including the disabled, the children, and the elderly, may not be able to get the food stamps they need to eat.
In a statement, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo called the president's speech self-serving, false political rhetoric. The president added that he's invited congressional leaders to a meeting today to get a government spending deal done. Around the nation this morning, on the anniversary of a shooting that nearly took the life of Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, the House of Representatives held a moment of silence.
Local 44's Alexandra Limon reports Democrats also introduced a bill that would require near universal background checks.
8 years ago, a gunman killed 6 people and injured 12 others in Tucson, Arizona. Former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords was shot in the head.
Now is the time to come together, be responsible. Democrats, Republicans, everyone.
Since Gabby's shooting, nearly 250,000 lives have been lost to gun violence, all the time while Congress stood by and did nothing.
California Congressman Mike Thompson and Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced that will change. They introduced the Bipartisan Background Checks Act of 2019.
We say enough is enough.
Nevada Congressman Stephen Horsford says the bill would expand background checks to online sales and trade shows.
Based on the impact that we've seen in Nevada after the 1 October tragedy, this is something that's, desperately important.
The bill does have exceptions for law enforcement and sales or gifts between family members. Democrats believe they can pass the bill in the House within the first 100 days of this new Congress, but it's unlikely the bill would even get a vote in the Republican-controlled Senate. Critics of the legislation point out the Tucson shooter cleared a background check and bought the gun legally. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
All 6 senators from our tri-state area are supporting the reintroduction of the Background Check Expansion Act. From New York State's Capitol this morning, after a slew of New York politicians are convicted of corruption just last year, many feel transparency is needed now more than ever in Albany.
Now a group of lawmakers and watchdog groups feel that they have the answer. Local 44's Morgan Mackay has more.
Unfortunately, in Albany, the old joke is that they don't tolerate corruption, they demand it.
As Assemblyman Mark Johns points out, corruption has been rampant in Albany for decades. The Joint Commission on Public Ethics, or JCOPE, is a current ethics enforcer commission for the state. But many feel that JCOPE is not working.
It was structured to fail. I mean, it was set up with political appointees being representative of the interests that appoint them.
JCOPE is currently made up of legislative appointees, but the governor and legislative leaders' appointees can veto any ethic violation investigation.
The entire concept of an independent ethics body is that they are independent.
A bipartisan group of 22 senators, government watchdog groups, and assembly members are calling for an anti-corruption constitutional amendment. It would replace JCOPE and the Legislative Ethics Commission to form one commission on state government integrity. 5 of the 9 members will be appointed by top judges in New York, 2 by the executive branch, and 2 by the legislature.
This is the only way we can reform our House, is to make sure that we create an independent ethics commission, one that acts by majority vote, and one that requires members to monitor themselves and their colleagues.
Senator Jim Tedisco is one lawmaker that will not be supporting this constitutional amendment, saying that this commission would still not be independent enough if legislators are appointing members, and this proposal lacks a needed transparency.
Basically what I call the fox in the hen house, appointing more of their friends outside of that hen house.
Since this is a constitutional amendment, it would have to pass both houses this year, again in 2021, and then it would go on the ballot for voters to decide on in the fall of 2021 at the earliest. Reporting from the Capitol, I'm Morgan Mackay.
Almost 7:37, and big changes for a well-traveled street in the Lake City, but do residents support it?
Coming up, we'll detail the plans for Dirt-Free Streets and tell you why some are not on board.
You're watching Local 44 Morning Brew with Megan Carpenter, Palakseni Manjari, Spencer Thomas, and SkyTracker meteorologist Amanda Tebow. This is Local 44 Morning Brew. Now, meteorologist Amanda Tebow with your Sky Tracker forecast.
7:39, and the view from our Colchester Skycam towards the interstate is less than stellar at the moment. I actually had to chuckle a little bit because it brought up some groans from the control room as they could see this pop up. Visibility, not fabulous. That's because of fog, but also, of course, the snow that's coming down. And roads are not just snow covered, but they might have a layer of ice underneath. We had a mix last night of rain, freezing rain, even some sleet. So as you step on the snow, it could have a bit of a crunch to it. That just means there's ice underneath. You got to step carefully and, of course, drive carefully this morning. Pack your patience, too. The area of low pressure is going to slide off to the northeast very slowly. And as it's meandering along, our flow today will start to turn to out of the northwest. And as that happens, snow should come to a close in valleys, but it's going to continue well into Thursday evening over our higher elevations. So mountains and points just immediately off to the north and west. But for right now, it's pretty widespread. We're getting a break in southern New Hampshire, and we're so far removed that there's not a lot happening for the moment in the St. Lawrence River Valley, but elsewhere, widespread snow, visibility is a problem, and we're going to start as we get towards mid-morning to look for some of those 1 to maybe even 2 inch per hour snowfall bursts. Not going to last terribly long, but that makes it even harder for crews to catch up with what Mother Nature is dealing us with at the moment. As we get to this afternoon here, again, that snow becomes more confined to our favorable upslope locations, so it becomes tied to the terrain. So points north and west of the Adirondacks, the spine of the Green Mountains in northern and facing western mountain slopes, higher elevations of the Northeast Kingdom, and northern and central New Hampshire all continue to pick up snow beyond today and into tomorrow. And that's what's going to lead us to reach those winter storm warnings and winter weather advisory criteria snowfall amounts, which, if you're in immediate valleys, isn't all that much. This isn't going to be a knock your socks off kind of snowfall unless you're in an area in pink under a winter storm warning where we could get 8 inches, possibly even a foot of snow. Mountain summits like Jay Peak, the top of Mansfield, maybe even Whiteface, so a little more northern and western facing slopes of the Adirondacks could get as much as maybe 18 inches of snow. And that's by the time we reach the end of the day tomorrow. So remember, that's not all coming today. Here's what it looks like with our snowfall forecast map. This hasn't really changed much from what you saw yesterday or maybe last night. Big time shadowing in larger valleys, lesser snowfall totals there, but as soon as you gain some elevation or you put yourself in a northern and western facing mountain slope, you really do pick up quite a bit. Low 30s through the day today. Tonight, we're going to drop down to the 20s, and then we hang out in the 20s on Thursday. We spend most of our day tomorrow steady, too. Before Thursday afternoon, we keep on dropping. How low do we go? Well, 0 or maybe even beyond sub-zero overnight lows for Thursday night and for Friday night without much recovery during the daytime despite throwing some sunshine back on the 7-day forecast. We still only get up to about 10 to 15 degrees. Your full forecast is broken down region by region on our website, mychamplainvalley.com. You'll also find that snowfall total map zoomed in region by region too. Guys?
Speaking of all this snow and ice, plenty of plows and maintenance crews will be out and about cleaning up today across our region to make sure you drive safely. Just a reminder to not park on state-maintained roads. Specifically, we're talking about New Hampshire, Franconia Notch on I-93. There's no parking allowed there anytime. The reason? It obstructs snow removal or highway maintenance operations. Transportation officials warn you, if you do park there, your car will be towed. New this morning, we're going to try to warm you up now. Calling all pet parents. This morning, we're talking about ways to better your furry friend's health and wellness.
And who wouldn't want that, right? Of course. Well, Spencer Thomas is live in South Burlington. She's going to explain everything you need to know. Hey, Spence.
Hey, you guys, good morning. We are live here in South Burlington at Pet Food Warehouse, and we are with Hemp Vet this morning. It is a company that focuses on the health and therapy of pets through CBD products.
That's correct.
Yes, and we're here with Bill Riley, who is a co-founder of the company. So, Bill, we're going to be talking about how exactly these products are made. All right, so we have a nice display here, you guys, if you can see. Let's explain what each of these products are.
This might be familiar. This is hemp. This is hemp. The difference between hemp and marijuana is the THC level. THC level in hemp has to be below 0.3%. So 0.3% is hemp. Anything above it is marijuana. we've tested this, this is hemp. We then take this, or our manufacturers do, take this and CO2 extract a phytocannabinoid-rich hemp oil. So this is eventually factored into hemp oil. We then combine the hemp oil with a hemp seed. Now those are hemp seeds, and then this is, although they look the same, this is hemp protein powder. So we can combine these ingredients into a chew. And these are this formulation was developed by a board-certified animal nutritionist. The benefit of hemp, we talked about this earlier, is general health and wellness. So you've got the CBDs in there that help with anxiety, calming, inflammation control, and then you have EFAs, essential fatty acids, and other benefits. So generally speaking, the same thing that would help a human would help a pet. And what differentiates hemp fat from our from other hemp products.
I was going to say other hemp products that you see, such as like in a healthy living, something like that.
And they're all hemp based. They're all great products. What differentiates us is we have the CBDs, we have the phytocannabinoid rich formula, but we also combine that with other active ingredients. For instance, this is a calming formula. We take the phytocannabinoid rich hemp and we combine it with an extract of colostrum. So we call that a double mode of action.
So if your dog has anxiety or stress or something like that, the very same behaviors or symptoms that a human would have.
And what works well with Xena and Louie here is that they have a tendency to be stressed, and they also have Xena here has allergies. So this would help with that too. So you've got two modes of action. You've got the colostrum that's effective, and then you've got the hemp. This one is a joint formulation. So in addition to having the anti-inflammatory benefits of hemp, you also have glucosamine and MSM that helps restructure or help rebuild the joint. So you've got that, and then we have a neurocognitive that's also a hemp formulation with a extract of colostrum. So that's going to help neurocognitive issues.
And so we're actually going to be diving a little bit deeper into each of the products and how they can benefit these little guys right here with allergies and anxiety issues. So stay with us. We'll have more coming up in our next half hour, but for now we're live here in South Burlington. Back to you, ladies.
All right, sounds good.